we shall be discussing about pricing of bonds and yield of bonds. And these are relatively little bit tougher topics, so please have patience. It might take time for you to understand these topics. What do we mean by price of bond? The common mistakes which many students make is that the price of bond is same as face value, but that is not the case. If you buy a bond directly from the company, that is the issuer, you might buy it at the face value. Suppose if a company issues a bond at rupees 1000 and you buy that bond at rupees 1000, then you are buying the bond at the face value. For you, the price of the bond will be equal to the face value. But the bonds are traded on exchanges and their prices changes on daily basis. So once you buy the bond at rupees 1000, its price can change on daily basis. And the prices can increase or decrease depending upon some factors. Now, how is the price of bond related to the interest rate? Before we understand this, let me make it very clear that the interest rate that we are going to discuss on this slide is not same as the coupon rate, though we have used both the terms interchangeably in our past slides. Here, by interest rate, we mean that the interest rate supposedly on the fixed deposits in the bank, though the coupon rate is the interest given by the bond. Now, when the interest rate decreases, the bond prices increases, and vice versa also, when interest rate increases, the bond prices decreases. So there is an inverse relationship between the bond price and the interest rate. Let me explain you how. Suppose the bond is giving you a coupon payment of 8%, and right now the interest rates on the fixed deposits in the bank are also 8%. But suppose tomorrow the interest rates on the fixed deposits decreases to 6%. But the coupon payment will remain 8% till the maturity of the bond. This means that fixed deposits are giving a lesser amount of interest than the coupon rate on the bonds. So more and more people would buy bonds. It means the demand of bonds will increase because they are giving a better rate of return. And hence the bond prices will increase. On the other hand, if the rate on fixed deposits increases from 8 to 10%, it means fixed deposits are paying more rate of return than the bonds, which are paying 8% coupon rate. So more and more people would try to sell their bonds and enter into fixed deposits. And therefore, there would be a lot of supply of the people who want to sell their bonds, and as a result, the bond prices will decrease. Now, what is yield? Yield is the return which customer is getting from its investments. Yield can be of two types. First one is simple yield and the second one is yield to maturity. Let's discuss what simple yield is. Simple yield is basically coupon amount divided by price. Let's take an example. If you buy a bond at a 10% coupon rate and a face value of 1000, then yield equal to coupon value by price, which is this formula. Since coupon value would be 10% of 1000 is the face value and 10% is the coupon rate, so coupon value would be 100. Yield equal to coupon value by price. Coupon value is 100 and price is 1000 since you have bought the bond at the face value itself. So 100 by 1000 equal to 10%. So we can conclude that when bonds are bought on the face value, that is 1000 here, then the yield is same as the coupon rate. That is yield 10% is same as the coupon rate. Now let's consider a scenario where the price of the bond decreases. So let's say that it decreases from 1000 to 800, then yield would become 100 by 800, that is 12.5%. This is happening because earlier you were paying 1000 but still getting only 100 each month, but now you're paying 800 but still getting 100. So basically you're getting the same amount of return on lesser investment, and therefore your yield has increased from 10 to 12.5%. Now let's try to understand a relation here. When the price of bond decreases, yield increases. As we have seen in this example, when price decreased from 1000 to 100, the yield increased from 10 to 12.5%. Now we have earlier discussed that the prices are also inversely related to interest rates. It means that the price would have decreased because interest rate would have increased. And you can now gauge that yield also tries to match the interest rate. That is, when interest rate increases, the price decreases and hence yield will also increase to match it with the interest rate. This is really needed because unless and until yield matches the interest rate, nobody would be interested to buy bonds, because then they will always get higher return on the fixed deposits. Therefore, yield will always adjust itself to match the interest rate, and hence more and more people would be interested to invest in the bonds because the interest rate and the yield are matching. Now let's take an opposite scenario. The price of bond increases from 1000 to 1200. In this case, yield would become 100 by 1200, that is 8.33%. That is, when the price of bond increases, your simple yield decreases. Again, this establishes our understanding that there is an inverse relationship between price and yield. Now, why would the price would have increased? Because somewhere the interest rate would have decreased, and hence we can again conclude that yield would always adjust itself to be in line with the interest rate. So if interest rate decreases, yield will also decrease to be in line with the interest rate, because otherwise if yield is more than the interest rate, then nobody will invest in the fixed deposits. So as an equilibrium, yield will always adjust itself to the interest rate. Now, what is yield to maturity? Yield to maturity is also known as YTM. This is different from yield, what we discussed in the previous slides. Yield to maturity is the total return that investor would get till the maturity period. Now, how is it different from current yield? Let's try to understand this with an example. When we discuss the current yield, basically we find the return based on the coupon payment. So if your coupon payment is 100 and your bond price is 1000, then you divide this 100 by 1000 to get your yield as 10%. So basically your simple yield is based upon your coupon payments, but your yield to maturity considers that each of these coupon payment is again invested at certain interest rate, which will increase over the period of time and will be an increased amount by the time your bond matures. So this 100 you will invest at certain interest rate, and this 100 might increase to 200 by the time your bond matures. Similarly, all other coupon payments which you will get over a period of time would be reinvested again at a certain interest rate, and those will be the increased amounts by the time your bond matures. So this will be your total return by the time the bond matures, and the interest rate at which these individual amounts would be deposited would be assumed to be equal to the return you are getting on your investment. So this is a basic concept of yield to maturity. Now let's try to understand how do we calculate a bond price. Bond price is basically the present value of all the future cash flows. Let's try to understand this with an example. Now here on this timeline is the value of all your cash flows which you will be getting by investing in the bonds. So these are your coupon payments, and this will be your return of the principal plus, as I told you earlier, there is a 100 value missing for the interest rate. So when you find the present value of all these cash flows, we are assuming a rate of return to be 10%. So the present value of the first cash flow would be 100 divided by 1.10 raised to the power 1. We are just using the concept that we discussed in time value of money. So the present value of your second cash flow would be 100 divided by 1.10 raised to the power 2, because there are two time periods now. And similarly, the value of your third cash flow would be 100 divided by 1.10 raised to the power 3. So by this, we can find the present value of all the cash flows that we would be getting by investing in our bonds. So basically, how can we just summarize it? So basically, bond price would be C. C is your coupon payment divided by 1 plus I. I is your yield to maturity. Similarly, the next present value of the cash flow would be C divided by 1 plus I raised to power 2. Then it goes to till N, that is your nth payment. N is the duration of the bond here, and M is your maturity value, that is your principal amount that you will get back at maturity. Right. So just I will explain again. C is your coupon payment. In this case, it is 100. N is number of payments. In this case, it is 10. I is your interest rate or required yield. Here yield we means yield to maturity, not simple yield. And M is the value at maturity, that is the face value of the bond that you will get at maturity. Now we have got this formula for the bond price. How can we further simplify this formula? If you clearly see here in these terms where C is the numerator, we see that each year the coupon payment is being made at the end of each year. and the coupon payment remains the same. It's always the same, right? So we are making a coupon payment C at the end of each year for certain number of years, which is n. I'm talking about this part. Forget about this last term. For this part, we are making coupon payment C at the end of each year for the next n years. So this becomes a case of annuity. Coupon payments are like annuities which are being made for n years, which are equal, and those are being made at the end of each year. So this becomes a case of ordinary annuity because payments are being made at the end of each year. And we know that the formula for ordinary annuity would be C into 1 minus 1 plus I raised to the power minus n divided by I, right? So this is the formula for present value of ordinary annuity. And if we apply this formula to this bond price formula, then we get this. So basically what we have done is this part, the terms having C as numerator is being replaced by this formula for annuity due plus the last term, which is here, has been retained here as the last term. So this becomes C into 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus I raised to the power n divided by I plus m divided by 1 plus I raised to the power n. The formula for annuity here and this part here is same, though here it is written 1 plus I raised to the power minus n. It's the same. Here we have just written 1 divided by 1 plus I raised to the power n. So we have just inversed it, so the power becomes positive here. Instead of minus n, it becomes n here. They are similar, right? And C here is the coupon payment, I is basically your yield, and M is your maturity value, right? So this way we can simplify this bond price formula into this formula, because the coupon payments which are being made at the end of each year are equal, and that becomes a case of ordinary annuity. So we have replaced this part by the formula for ordinary annuity here. We can also calculate the yield using the same formula. Sometimes instead of calculating the bond price would be given to you and you would be asked to calculate yield, that is I. I repeat again, yield here is not simple yield, it is yield to maturity. So let's try to solve an example on bond pricing. Calculate the price of the bond, and the values given to you are face value is 1000. Maturity is 10 years, coupon rate is 10%, and required yield is 6%. And the coupon payments are made annually. So basically we want to use this formula, and we know these values. Coupon value is 100 because this is 10% of 1000, which is 100. Number of periods is 10, which is given here. I, that is yield, equal to 6%. Maturity value 1000, which is equal to the face value. And we have to find the bond price. So if we put the values in the formula, we get bond price equal to 100, which is your C, into 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 0.06. 0.06 is your I, that is yield, right? Raised to the power 10, which is your N here, divided by 0.06, which is this I, which we are dividing 0.06, plus M, which is your 1000, divided by 1 plus I raised to the power N, which is 1 plus 0.06 raised to the power 10, right? N is 10 and I is 0.06. If you solve this, you will get your answer as 1294.05, right? So I hope you have got how to find the bond price using this formula. Let's try to do the same example which we did in our previous slides, but the difference being here is that the coupon payments are being made semi-annually. All other things remain the same, that is the price of bond we have to calculate. The face value is 1000, maturity is 10 years, and the coupon rate is 10%, and the required yield is 6%. So basically we have to use this formula, but the values which we will put in this formula need to be calculated differently now. Here the coupon value would become 5% of 1000 instead of 10%, because 10% is the rate for whole year, but here coupon payments are being made semi-annually, so coupon value would be 5% of 1000, that is 50. Number of periods would also increase because there are now 6 months period, so 10 years would become 10 into 2, that is 20. I, that is yield, instead of 6%, which is annual, it would become 3% semi-annually. And M, maturity value, would be 1000 as given in the question. And we have to find the bond price. So when we put these values in this formula, what we will get is that bond price equal to 50 into 1 minus 50 is your coupon payment, 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus 0.03, that is 1 plus I, because 0.03 is your I raised to the power n, which is 20, divided by I, which is 0.03, plus 1000 divided by 1 plus 0.03 raised to the power 20. 1000 is your basically maturity value, and 1 plus I is 1 plus 0.03, and raised to the power n is 20. Right. So if we solve this, we will get bond prices 1297, which becomes our answer. So let's try to do an example on bond yield. So in this example, we have to find the yield of a bond with the par value, that is face value 1000, maturity 10 years, coupon rate is 10%, and the bond price is 1294. So basically we can use the same formula. Here we are given the bond price instead of calculating it, and we have to calculate I, that is YTM. So bond price is 1294, N is number of periods, that is 10, C is the coupon value, which is 10% of 1000, that is 100, M is the maturity value, that is the face value you will get at maturity, this is 1000, and I, yield, needs to be fine. So basically we have to put all these values in the formula, and when we put all these values in the formula, we get this equation. Now this equation is very difficult equation to solve, because here we have I raised to the power 10, and it's very difficult to solve such an equation. It's almost impossible. Right. So what we will do is, we will put values from the options one by one, right? Your options are 5%, 6%, 8%, 10%. So one by one, we will put values from the options, and we will try to match that which value give the right hand side equal to your left hand side. Suppose I put the first value of I equal to 5%, that is 0.05, and I get some value, say 1350. So the right hand becomes 1350, whereas left hand side is 1294. It means what I put was wrong. I is not 5%. So therefore, like that, I will put all the four values, and I'll see that where my left hand side matches with the right hand side, and whenever it matches, that would be my answer. So basically this is your equation. When I put I equal to 0.05, that is 5% on the right hand side of this equation, I get bond price as 1386. So this is not the right option, because this is not matching with the value on left hand side, that is 1294. But when I put I equal to 6 on the right hand side, when I mean I equal to 6, I have to put I equal to 0.06. Then I get bond price as 1294, which is matching with the value on the left hand side, and hence this is my correct option. So my answer is B. Right. So what we have seen is that when we have tried to solve this example by putting the values of I on the right hand side, it was a very cumbersome process, right? It was a very difficult process. It's not easy to solve by that means, where you have to put values one by one on the right hand side and match with the left hand side. It becomes a very tedious process. So what is the alternative option? The alternative option is basically a shortcut to find YTM, that is yield to maturity. So this is the shortcut in front of your screen. We can calculate YTM using this shortcut formula. What is this shortcut formula? In the numerator, it would be coupon interest payment plus your face value minus market price divided by N. What is your face value? Face value is basically the value at which the bond is being issued. It is your par value. And market price is the price of the bond in the market, that is the bond price, and N is the number of time periods, right? And in the denominator, it would be face value plus market price divided by 2, right? And coupon interest payment, in case you do not know, it's very simple. I mean, that's the coupon amount that you are getting, right? So this is the formula for YTM that you can use to find the yield, that is yield to maturity, and this will make your task a lot easier. So when we try to solve this question by using this shortcut, what we get is coupon interest payment is 100, which is 10% of 1000, face value is 1000, market price is 1294 as given in the question here, N equal to 10 because this is a 10-year bond. And then YTM can be calculated as putting these values in this formula. We get 100, which is the coupon interest payment, plus 1000 minus 1294, which is face value minus market price, divided by face value plus market price, which becomes 1000 plus 1294 divided by 2, and hence you will get YTM as 6%. Right, guys? So what we can see is that it becomes really easy to calculate the yield using the shortcut instead of using the proper formula. Okay. Now we will try to repeat the same example where we will calculate the yield, but we will assume that the coupon payments are being made semi-annually. So the question is, you have to calculate the yield on a bond which has a face value of 1000, maturity is 10 years, coupon rate is 10%, and the bond price is 1297. But it's given in the question that the coupon payments are being made semi-annually. So obviously we can use the same formula because here bond price is given and we have to calculate I. The bond price is given to be 1297. Number of periods would be equal to 10 into 220 because coupon payments are being made semi-annually, so each period is of 6 months instead of a year. Coupon value would be 5% of 1000 because 10% is an yearly rate. 6 monthly rate would be 5% and hence coupon value would be 5% of 1000, that is 50. M, maturity value, that is the value that you will get at the end or the maturity of the bond is 1000, and I needs to be find out. Now when we put these values in this formula, we get this. Again, this is very tricky or very complex to find I even with a calculator, because even when you use calculator you have to put all these values of I on the right hand side and try to find out the option which gives the right hand side equal to the left hand side. But as we saw in the previous example, we can always use the shortcut for yield and we need not use calculator for the same. So when we try to solve this using the shortcut, we can solve it this way. First, let us try to find out the values that we need to put into the equation. Coupon interest payment would be 50, that is 5% of 1000. Face value is 1000, market price is given to be 1297, and N would be 20. So YTM would become 50, which is your coupon interest payment. Face value minus market price would be 1000 minus 1297 divided by N, which means here divided by 20. Then whole divided by face value plus market value divided by 2, which is 1000 plus 1297 divided by 2. So this will give you answer as 0.03, that is 3%. Now the yield or YTM that we calculated using all these values would be semi-annual YTM, because we have assumed that the coupon payments are being made semi-annually. So the annual yield would be double of this, that is 3 into 2 equal to 6%. So till now we have discussed about pricing of bonds with annual payments, pricing of bonds with semi-annual payments, yield of bonds with annual payments, yield of bonds with semi-annual payments. Now we will discuss about pricing and yield of zero coupon bonds. So what are zero coupon bonds basically? Zero coupon bonds are the bonds in which no coupon payment is being made to the bondholder. The only payment which is made to the bondholder is at the end of the maturity period. Now, if we see the bond price formula for a non-zero coupon bond, it was like this. Now, in zero coupon bond, since no coupon payment is being made, I put C equal to 0. That is, all this will become 0. So the zero coupon bond price would be M divided by 1 plus I raised to the power N, where M is your maturity value, I is your yield, and N is the number of periods or number of years if the payment is annual. And if I just tweak this formula, I also get the formula for yield. So yield would be M divided by bond price raised to the power 1 divided by N minus 1. So we have just derived this formula out of this, a simple mathematic transformation we have done. Let's do a numerical on zero coupon bonds, that is pricing of zero coupon bonds. It says that we have to determine the price of zero coupon bond that is maturing in 5 years, that is maturity is 5 years, has a par value, that is face value of 2000, and the required yield is 8% or required yield is of 8%, and the coupon payment is annual. Right. So first of all, when you read this statement, you will be able to understand that is maturity is 5 years, face value is 2000, required yield is 8%. We have to determine the price of the bond, and the coupon payment is given to be annual. Now you must be thinking that these are zero coupon bonds. Then how can the coupon payment will be annual? Because in zero coupon bonds, there is no coupon payment. You directly get whatever amount you get at the end of your maturity or at the end of the duration for which you have bought the bond. So how come the coupon payment is said to be annual? The answer is C. Yes, zero coupon bonds do not have any payment in between, that is they do not give any coupon payments in between, but still in the question it is mentioned that coupon payment is annual because they say that it is just virtual. that we have to find the price of zero coupon bond in such a scenario that you should get the same rate of interest that you would have got if you would have bought a bond with annual payments. So this is just a virtual scenario that zero coupon bonds is giving you an annual coupon payment, and the reason behind that virtual scenario is that you have to find the price of zero coupon bond which is giving you a yield of 8%, assuming that you are getting the coupon payments which are same as the coupon payments of a non-zero coupon bond, right? So do not get confused. Yes, zero coupon bonds do not give any coupon payment as such, but in the statements it would be mentioned that the coupon payment is annual or semi-annual, for you just to assume that what is the simulation you are going to do, what is the virtual scenario for you, assuming which you have to find the price of a zero coupon bond. So let's move to solve this numerical. So we know that the formula to find the zero coupon bond is m divided by 1 plus I whole raised to power n. M is your maturity amount. So in this case your maturity amount would be 2000, right? Because this is the face value at which you bought the bond or at which the bond is available. Then yield is 8%, it means I is 8%, n is equal to 5, that is your duration, right? Maturity is 5 years. So when you put all these values here, m divided by 1 plus I whole raised to the power n, you will get your price of zero coupon bond as 1361. Now let's try to do another example on pricing of zero coupon bonds where the coupon payment is being made semi-annually. So all other things remain the same, that the bond is maturing in 5 years, has a face value of 2000 and a yield of 8%. So when we use this formula, we have to find the values that we need to put into this formula. M here would be the maturity value, that is 2000. N would be 10 periods because here it's 5 years, but now the period is 6 months because payments are being made semi-annually. So N would become 10. Here I, that is required yield, is given as 8% per year, but since we are calculating now on the basis of semi-annual payments, my I would come out to be 8 by 2 equal to 4% or 0.04. So when I put all these values in this formula, what we get is bond price equal to 2000 divided by 1 plus 0.04 raised to the power 10, and you will get your answer as 1352. So let's try to do an example to find the yield of zero coupon bonds. Now the question is that determine the yield of a zero coupon bond that is maturing in 5 years and has a face value of 2000, and the price of bond is given to be 1361. So here m equal to 2000, which is your maturity value, n equal to 5, which is your maturity duration, price equal to 1361. So we can use this formula for the yield as we discussed this formula before. When we put these values in this formula, we get this, and you will get I equal to 8%. That is, your yield comes out to be 8%. Now we will discuss about yield to call. Earlier we have discussed about yield to maturity, that if you keep your bond till maturity, what is the yield or what is the return you will be getting. Now there is a famous funda of yield to call. If you remember, we have already discussed about callable bonds. Callable bonds are the ones which company can call in between, that is before maturity. Suppose the maturity of the bond is 10 years, but if the bonds are callable, if company feels that it is in the interest of the company to call the bonds, that it can call the bonds maybe after 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. It need not complete 10 years, right? So yield to call means that for callable bonds, when the bonds are called, what is the yield at that time, or what would be the yield at that time, right? So just try to understand that yield to maturity and yield to call are different. Yield to maturity is something when your yield is calculated or return is calculated assuming that the bond will be kept till maturity, whereas yield to call is calculated assuming that bond would be called after a certain period of time. It will not complete its entire duration. It will not be kept till maturity. So what is the formula for yield to call? Now suppose this is the bond you bought for 10 years in 2017, which is to mature in 2017, and suppose the company calls the bond after 4 years. So 17 to 18 is the first year, 18 to 19 second years, 19 to 20 third year, 20 to 21 fourth year. So here the company calls the bond. So what would be the yield at this point in time? So to calculate this, we have this formula for yield to call, where in the numerator you would get coupon interest payment plus call price minus market value divided by number of years until call. Call price is the price that company will pay you when it is calling the bond. That would be mentioned in the agreement when you buy the bond, that in case the bond is called, what would be the call price paid to you. So call price is the price that company would be paying to you when it calls the bond, right? Market value would be the market value of the bond. Number of years until call would be that how much period has passed when the bond is called. So in this case, when the bond is being called after 4 years, the number of years until call will be 4. 17 to 18 1, 18 to 19 2, 19 to 23, 20 to 21 4, right? And in the denominator it would be call price plus market value divided by 2. So this is a pretty simple formula, right, which is almost similar to the shortcut formula we discussed for yield to maturity. Now let's try to compare the formulas, that is the shortcut formulas between YTM and YTC. You will observe that both of these formulas are same. The only difference is that in YTM the money that you get at the end of the maturity period is actually the face value. So here it comes the face value, but in YTC the money that you get back when the bond is called is the call price. So instead of face value, here it is the call price. Everything else is same between these two formulas. That will help you to remember both these formulas also. So let's try to do an example on YTC. Consider a callable bond that has face value of 1000, okay, and it pays an annual coupon of 10%. The bond is currently priced at 1175 and has an option to be called at 1100 5 years from now. So the market price of the bond is 1175, but it would be called, or it has the option to be called after 5 years from now at 1100, right? So when we put the values in the formula, we can get the result, but before that we need to find out the values that need to be